Greeting you in the love and in the light of the one infinite creator family. I got a dear brother right here on for episode 9 of the Moona's Magica podcast. We've been planning to do this for a couple weeks, and spontaneously, the creator is calling forth us to gather and to share what comes through. If you're tuning in, I send you so much love and so much peace and so much harmony because I am here and I am there and I am everywhere and I am within my brother right here. The same consciousness flows through all beings. And I'll get my brother here to introduce himself and just a uh, brief intro from my part is that we met over the divine tool of what we call Instagram, which actually has been such an amazing tool to meet like-minded beings and especially orgone and life force energy technology creators. And yeah, we just like we were kicking it off in deep resonance over the screen. And yeah, we started connecting. He's read the Moona's ebook, and he sent me codes on making the Taurus. And yeah, he's got the Moona's Lost Qubit 24K gold plated harmonizer right there. And yeah, sending you love, bro. So introduce yourself and maybe share a little bit about your journey and how you're in this now and creating this technology.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for having me here, brother.
Yes.
It's truly an honor to be here and to be able to share and be present with this sacred moments forever. We are all here forever now. And so my name is Hunter. I go by Hunter. You can call me Hunter. I am 22 years old. I turned 23 in less than a week. And I was born and raised in Salt Lake City, Utah. I am currently on the East Coast, and we are out here making sacred tech. We got the harmonizers, we got organized pyramids, we got rodent coils too, which we'll dive into in a little bit. But yeah, I'm here abiding as the one I am presence with you all, sharing this divine reflection as the reflection that we all are with each other. I love you all, and I'm grateful to be here. Let's dive in.
Aho, aho. Um, so the first inquiry, let's you started making orgonite first, correct? In this whole, or how did you get to, like, spiritually, how did you get to the place of resonating and knowing that, this is what you want to do?
Great question. Great question. Yeah, so big shout out to Brother Gaia. Brother Gaia, he really put me on game. Yeah, I was introduced to his Instagram page. I found it, just on the timeline. And I started doing research, just started looking into it. I was curious. I seen that he was like the sucker punches. They look fascinating. The monsoon coil with the crystal in the center of it. I was just like, wow, that thing looks cool. I don't care what it does. I need one of those. And I started looking into it. I'm like, okay, I do care what it does, and I definitely need one of those. And so, yeah, I ordered a couple of sucker punches from Brother Gaia, and that opened the can of worms, bro. I got one Lemurian quartz, Ramu, uh, double monsoon from him, and that was like the first one that really opened me up because I was really interested in chem busting, getting rid of all the chemtrails. Because in Salt Lake City, so Slim Sperling, in Colorado back in like the late '80s, early '90s, he did the Colorado experiment with the weather. Moona's Magica shared tons of information on this. If you don't know about it already, we'll talk about it. But essentially, in Utah, we have like some of the worst air pollution in the U.S. because in Salt Lake City, we live in what's called the fishbowl. It's called the fishbowl effect. So all the mountains surround us in like a dome. So all the air gets trapped inside this like vortex of the city. And then we have the Great Salt Lake right next to the city, and it's drying out. So what happens is we get these droughts, and it sends all this nasty, dry dirt from the Great Salt Lake into the air, into Salt Lake City. And so while I was out there, I was really blasting the environmental clearance tape through this thing. Yeah, I'm doing my best to share it with as many people as possible out there because I have so much friends and family out there. Peace to you all. Peace and love to you all. And yeah, it's a really sacred place, Utah, and I really want to clear the air there. I
Mm.
I, I was born with I wasn't born with it, I would say, but I grew up with asthma, and so I really struggled with that. I almost died a couple times, and so that, honestly, I'm opening a whole can of worms right now, but it is what it is. Like urine therapy is the key to life. This is everlasting youth. We'll dive into this, but I'm just laying the grounds right now.
Oh, oh, thank you,
So
brother.
yeah, so back to your original question, brother Guy, he really got me into the tech. In fact, I have you guys sitting on a tripod with some brother Guy tech right
Mm,
here. You guys are beaming on the some brother Guy rings. Got the 888 manifestation cube.
mm,
And so yeah, I was really interested in his tech and started experimenting with it, feeling it out and researching, and just kept on asking more and more questions. The curiosity was just endless. I'm still fascinated by this technology. I learn more and more about it every day. And yeah, so and then I didn't, yeah, and then I actually started asking you questions on Instagram on my old account, my personal Instagram account before I made Techgnosis369 my business page.
mm,
And you started giving me some instructions here and there. Just like I would watch the tutorials, how to make the triskelion, how to make the light rings, double twists, and then that just opened up so many portals for me. And then I started like looking at Twisted Sage and Slim Sperling, reading their books, watching all their videos on YouTube, just countless hours studying. And yeah, so I started making tensor rings back. It was about a year ago.
mm,
So I've only been making tech for like a year. And shout out to my brother Crystal Pyramids 96.
mm.
He's the one who taught me how to make organite. Best in the game in my opinion. Yeah, I've tried. I bought organite from several different people throughout the years, and I have a Crystal Pyramids Ankh on right now with
Oh,
some more. It's got moldavite and blue kyanite in it.
mm.
Really beautiful piece. Um, some of the best work I've experienced personally. And so it's been an honor to learn from him how to make organite. You know, very powerful stuff. And then you taught me how to make the attention techniques. So
Hey,
very beautiful. You got the PEMF on. I don't even have the PEMF on.
hey.
That's that, brother. I love that. So yeah, it was about November of last year. I tapped in with Crystal Pyramids and we started making tech. He taught me how to make organite, and then I started getting into the rodent coil tech, and that's just a whole thing to dive into as well. So, yeah, do you have any other questions about where I began?
Um, yeah, that's a good start. There's a lot we could go from there. Um, yeah, so you now like are you doing this full time now?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. Welcome.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Like I said.
Uh yeah, Brother Gaia was the all spark crystal for me too.
Wow.
Yeah, when I saw him on Instagram one day, I knew my life was changed forever. And that was the first time I heard the word scalar energy and
Right,
It
right.
was just the way he was vibing when he was twisting the copper on the trees and dancing. It was like, wow, this man. Um, yeah, let's get into like you showed the urine as well. I'm open to diving into that because I'm not afraid to share that as well because there's no secrets here. Um, but what yeah, what do you feel like you wanna dive into first? Maybe we can do like a little epilogue from the rings, the orgone, the rodent coils, and then tap in about just like relation to spiritual awakening and in relation to New Earth. Um, yeah, I mean, we could start at the simplicity of the ring, right? For people that are tuning in and don't really know so much, but I would say it's simply like the heart center already knows everything, and when you follow that heart, you're you're leaded effortlessly to this technology. Um, because this technology is based in free energy. And what is free energy? It's the infinite supply, it's the infinite intelligence of the I am presence that is forever the foundation of creation, the unmanifest. And basically everything is one. So even the shape of this of the ring, the circle, um, and how the ring simply creates that life force in a concentrated beam in combination with a harmonic resonance based on the qubit length that we cut our wire to. So just to, give people a little bit of an idea is we're simply creating the life force or the scalar energy, the scalar waves, or it's been called so many different names. Nikola Tesla called them longitudinal waves. The Russian scientists called this torsion energy or a torsion field or tachyon energy. I would say it's the name for God, like another, it is God, and we are that. And basically, these tools that we create are manifestations of a method to harness the life force. Um, so being the ring, creating the beam, the vortex, or the the pyramids, say the organite pyramids, if you want to show one of those, like how would you describe how an orgone pyramid works and how do we make them and how like when somebody sees that it's not only the I guess the magic of what it is, but what is it actually doing?
Absolutely, brother. That's a very good question. Yeah, so to answer that very simply, this is quantum transmutation. This is a light prism. We cast prisms of light, and so our tongue is a magical wand,
Mm,
and our brain is an antenna, and we can attune our antenna to whatever we wish. So I choose to be a channel of the I am presence. And with that in mind, I'm channeling source energy consciousness into these light prisms. So I would like to speak on dielectricity. So dielectricity with the water elements of the resin, the elements in orgone. So the resin is crystalline in nature. It acts as a slate for memory. And so you can insert your paradigms into this new technology through focused awareness and affirmations, essentially. And so, as you're twisting copper wire, for example, you're speaking, you're breathing from the heart, you're centered, you're grounded, you're praying, putting your love and your intentions into it. So it's the same thing when the orgone is crystallizing the resin as it hardens, especially polyester resin. Polyester resin is squeezes very hard and creates a piezoelectric squeeze, which we'll get to in a sec. But the dielectricity, so as the resin is curing and you're speaking to it, it's creating essentially like a new crystal. If you think about what happens to a crystal as it's forming inside the earth, it's undergoing lots of heat and lots of pressure. It's being squeezed, you
Mm.
know? And as it's being squeezed, there is collecting information from the data field of, the morphogenetic field, essentially, from the universe, from, the cosmos. So um, it's the same thing when you create an etheric laboratory in your backyard and you start making orgonite, you're just doing it at a hyper accelerated rate. So we're essentially making like ancient futuristic crystals in, it would take the earth millions of years. We're doing it overnight.
Mm.
What isn't that, I mean, that's mind blowing to me. I'm fascinated by what I just said. Um, so yeah, piezoelectricity. So when the resin is squeezes, there are crystals inside the resin, like quartz. Quartz is a piezoelectric crystal, so when you squeeze it, it creates an electric charge. And the more tension you put on that quartz crystal, the more amplified that electric charge is going to be, the more conductive it'll be. So I highly favor polyester or fiberglass resin when making orgone for that piezoelectric squeeze. We're squeezing new elements, we're creating like new light for the earth. It's really divine tech. Um, I feel like a lot of people, because I've never used epoxy personally when
Mm.
making orgonite, but I could have epoxy pieces and they just, I can just feel the difference.
Mm.
And I favor these personally, but to each their own. But
Mm.
yeah, so that's the basics of dielectricity and piezoelectricity. I feel like that's a good start. Casting orgone with the resin and crystals and the metals. So the metals in the resin creates this chaotic matrix where it's repelling and attracting at the same time. And then the quartz crystals act as a transmutation device to stabilize and balance the currents. And that's essentially what orgone devices do is they attract, they're essentially superconductors. So our bodies, the human body is the most divine technology. These tools only amplify this divine technology and only help us remember and amplify. But at this day and age, I got 5G towers around my backyard. I got a laptop right here. I got a TV right here. I got a phone right in front of me. I'm being surrounded by all these electromagnetic frequencies. I'm in an ocean of electromagnetic smog, essentially, etheric smog.
Mm.
And so, with that in mind, our bodies are, like mostly water. We are very conductive and we take on all of this energy from the atmosphere. We're constantly having to process our environments. And, fasting really shows you the depths of how clear you are in your energy fields. For example, you know, sorry, I lost my train of thought right there.
All good, brother. We're we were talking about electromagnetic frequencies and having the like our being itself is a transmuter, obviously, right? But yeah, like these tools around, like they're here for us right
Yeah.
now because we're up against so much.
Right, right. Thank you for that reminder. So
Yeah.
right now back on track. So yeah, the body is mostly water. So we are superconductors for all this energy to come through. So um, when you go to sleep on an empty stomach, your body isn't digesting all that food, so it has more energy to focus on repair of the DNA and the vehicle, and more time just for relaxation or dream time. And so um, you can take that into consideration. Then you can also take fasting from electronics into consideration as well. You know, having a piece of orgonite around you is essentially like having a magnetic force field around your avatar to essentially allow you to fast from electronics.
Mm,
Even though I'm submerged in this etheric field of electronic smog, I'm I have so much tech around me, it doesn't even matter. I can have a phone in my pocket and it won't even harm me, you know?
mm,
So uh yeah, that's why I was so the orgone is more conductive than the human body though.
mm,
That that's kind of what I with your intention, you can make it to be that way with
mm.
the superconductive metals, the crystals. I add plasma GANs and other monoatomic elements into the orgone as well for that super ultra conductivity. And yeah, so I would say these are more conductive than the average human body, considering most people are chronically dehydrated.
Straight up, yeah.
Right. So to have one of these be by your bedside, an orgone generator or accumulator, energy is neither created nor destroyed. These are just accumulate and harmonize energy. And to have one of these near your energy, near your avatar, your aura, in your auric field all the time, it's truly life changing. Same with the harmonizer. I mean, they speak for themselves.
Mm,
Once you experience one of these, I mean, you'll know.
mm. Yeah, I have a few questions from that, bro. I'm just gonna grab a pyramid here and a harmonizer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's something about the hexagon that I was tapping into. Like I was looking at the harmonizer from the top, right? And
Right.
it's a hexagon. And it's like in the sacred cubit, I've been making the hexagonal charging plates and then the like I don't know, something special about the hexagon shape. Um and then obviously when we make our orgone, we like you can make it in different molds, right?
Right.
Which the question for you, like the pyramid, it creates the torus as well, right? Like the
Absolutely. Yes.
yeah, the way that the pyramid is shaped. This is one of the eight sides from Phi molds, which they have great molds.
Yeah,
Um,
I actually got the same one. I got the eight
oh,
sided.
that's the eight side. Yeah, yeah, it's a great mold, eh? Um, yeah, so it's creating the torus field, which obviously is what our harmonizers are creating as well. Um, actually, too, like I got this spooky too, right?
Oh, okay.
Right now I'm blasting the intestinal parasite cleanse. But
Ooh.
see what you could even do with the orgonite, it's like it's a frequency, you could get your pads and you could put it on your orgone
Hmm.
and you're
Okay.
you're playing those frequencies through your orgonite.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool download. And yeah, and then obviously we have when you have a violet ray wand, you can see when we're talking about the conductivity, you can see the violet flame coming off the Tesla violet rays. So
Yeah.
those are good devices to have too. Um, but yeah, it's so fun, bro. Like I absolutely love making orgonite. Like I just made this was a coaster I pulled this rise. It's got
Ooh,
Trisky with a double twist sacred magic mix, which so that's something cool we got to tell these brothers and sisters right here is Golden Sun Orgone, who was a brother that I was connected with. He moved to Toronto for a little bit. And brother Cher, who lives in Arizona, he's kind of like a trailblazer in our community for uh, you know, making the tech, making the orgone energy. And so Golden learned with Cher, like these brothers were working together, and Golden was the one who taught me. Um, but it's just so fun and infinite. Like you can make orgonite in an like there's obviously the formula, right? Which
yeah,
we didn't mention the 50-50 metal to resin ratio. And we're going off Wilhelm Reich's orgone accumulator boxes, right? So
right,
the word orgone for our audience, if you haven't heard why we're using this word orgone, is the cosmic energy, the life force that Reich called this orgone, and he would actually like measure it and put these people in this box that he created. And he was obviously the originator of the Cloud Busters as well, which I believe he greened the desert at one point with these Cloud Busters because the life force energy was so concentrated and so high. But man, this is so fun. Like making like I am absolutely in love with making orgonite and
right, right.
in the harmonizers too. Like I've made hundreds of these through the years, and now we got a plug for the gold plating, so that's nice. It adds that extra energetic to it.
I can really feel it. Even with a small one,
Hmm.
it makes the world of a difference having it gold plated, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, it does, Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, it's obviously not a make or break, but man, I think we should talk about the harmonizers real quick too.
Yeah, dude.
So like shout out brother Slim Sperling, man. Without him, none of us would be, you probably wouldn't be sitting in that room right now
Absolutely
if
not.
it weren't for Slim Sperling.
I don't
Um,
know where I'd be. I'd probably have asthma. I'd probably be dead from asthma.
bro, Slim has changed so many of our lives. So eternal gratitude to brother Slim, who's probably working on some other healing technology in another realm right now. I wouldn't be surprised. Um, I feel like that man incarnated either he I feel he came here to help, but he's also he's just a wizard. So thank you, Slim. So the culmination of Slim's life was, how everything is divinely designed, right? Like we come in, we slide into this body, and we have a life plan. And this is called parabdha karma in the yogic, you know, terminology. But it's what will happen regardless of what your ego wants to happen or not, right? So how I like to say it is that there's the river of reality is constantly flowing. And we, as free will beings, we have the gift to think, to feel, and to act in a way that we so fit. And this is where the positive polarity and the negative polarity come in. Every split moment as you are alive in foreverness, you have a choice of where you are directing your energy and what are you creating, because God made you in the image of him or her as a creator. And so when you realize that, it is mind blowing when you realize that with a single thought you can bring it, like you can change the world, like Gandhi said, like be the change you wish to see. Like you are the change, and the amount, like we don't accept how much power we really have. Like this is mind-boggling. But this is on the same stream of consciousness, but the river is flowing, right? And we can add I like the analogy of like you can throw pebbles into the river and send ripples out into that stream. Um, and so we have a co-creation with reality, but with the design is that to circle it back is that the ring was the first creation from Slim, right? The Caduceus coil. And then it went into the AccuVac because he was making so much rings. He said he got bored. So he made the AccuVac, and then, which is part of the cosmic joke of everything too. And then the harmonizer came. And what happened was he first made the frame, and then clairvoyance came and said that the field was it was like a stagnant field. So Slim, I'm pretty sure she suggested to add the coil.
Right.
And Slim did it, and then boom, the torus got created. And so what we have here is we have the energy field of the ring that is now reaching out hundreds of kilometers. And when we play this environmental clearing tape, which is the tape that Slim used to clean the air pollution, now the field of the harmonizer doubles and we're playing the frequencies of water. So this is also a frequency broadcasting device that basically Slim said, just like I said, positive, negative. There's constructive harmonics and there's destructive harmonics. And anything that is within the range of this torus field or this bubble field will be overridden. So we can get into that experiment, but if you want to drop some gems on how you understand the harmonizer and your connection with the harmonizer as well, and yeah, just like your relationship with it, if you want to share a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, the tensor ring right here, I have a double twist indigo qubit. This is one of my favorites personally.
Mm,
The tensor ring, it's an infinite beam of light. It's essentially a glitch in the matrix, the way it's made. It's a gift from the creator,
mm,
this technology. And it was given to be simple, to be easily understood. So
aho,
that we could all, easily
aho.
be able to compare with each other. And yeah, so it's really interesting because essentially what you're doing is copper wire. It has a south and a north pole, so there's going to be a negative and a positive side, depending like on the wire. And so what you do is you twist it, you fold it in half on itself, you twist it on itself clockwise, and then you snip it to a very specific length, like 20.63 inches, like the sacred or royal cubit length, and you join it back on itself with some brazing, and it creates a scalar field or a tensor field. And yeah, like I said, essentially, so when you bring that circuitry back onto itself, like an Ouroboros, like a snake eating its own tail,
Mm,
it creates like a glitch, and it's a scalar field. So what it does is it acts as an antenna. It picks up these frequencies, and then that glitch just you know I feel like it's just magic. It's a manifestation tool. I'm not sure how science hasn't really been able to completely figure out how these tools work yet. But from my intuitive understanding, it's magic. With the power of the spoken word and your intention, you know how to use these tools already with your intuition.
mm.
And so yeah, the glitch with the scalar field, the circuitry meeting back on itself, really powerful download. I feel like that's been coming through recently. We'll dive into that in a little bit with the rodent coils, but I wanted to dive in with the harmonizer. So the tensor ring is an infinite column of light within the ring, and it's going to come out of both the top and the bottom. And with a harmonizer, with a coil in the center of it, so we essentially have three tensor rings all conjoined together to form like a hexagon. And then we have the coil in the center to activate it. And so essentially what this does is it creates this very harmonic field. Rather than it being just a singular column of light, anything within this tensor field is only active really inside of this tensor. But with a harmonizer that's broadcasting is, three tensor rings in a globe in a spherical shape with a coil in the center activating a quantum vacuum to essentially quantum vacuum all this negative electrosmog into it and then transmute it into positive orgone tensor life force energy
Mm.
prana. And yeah, I say that's my download with the harmonizer really.
Mm.
How's it impacting my life? Yeah, it's really interesting actually. When I first got my 24 karat harmonizer from you, that was technically my first ever harmonizer. I built this one after I got my 24 karat one from you. And so, but I've been making rodent coils before making harmonizers.
Mm.
And so, you spoke about the environmental clearing tape, which is really phenomenal thing to play through the harmonizer. Just has this amazing effect to just produce lots of precipitation in the air. Like really condense water
Mm.
to physical substance to help out the atmosphere and Earth. And so when I first got my harmonizer from you, you know, Slim Sperling, he tells you to play the environmental clearing tape through a pair of headphones through your or through your harmonizer. But I decided I want to play the environmental clearing tape through my rodent coil with a harmonizer on top of it.
Mm.
Right. Because the rodent coil is a toroidal donut. So it's already creating a very, very powerful toroidal vortex. And then to have a harmonizer on top of it, which is just another toroidal vortex, it's just really fascinating technology. The first 4 days after receiving my gold harmonizer from you, Steven, I played the environmental clearing tape on my rodent coil through it, and we had the craziest storms in Utah
Mm.
for like 4 days straight. Like, and it was provable. So, um, the weather was clear, and they said that it was going to rain like 12 hours from now. I started playing the environmental clearing tape right now, and it's only like an hour long. After that hour download was complete, I checked the weather again. 100% rain in the forecast for right now. Like that was a quantum summoning of the rain.
Oh yeah.
And to me, that's just undeniable. There's no coincidences. That was really beautiful to witness. Quite an honor. And yeah, I'm really honored to be able to own this technology and share it and teach about it and learn about it as well. It's really fascinating stuff. So, yeah, that's about my experiences with the harmonizer. I have a harmonizer with me just about everywhere I go nowadays. Uh, I'm always gridding. Currently, I'm on the East Coast. So I'm always driving around, and yeah, they got tons of chemtrails going around. So I'm always just out there beaming, just sending love and light to the skies and to the grid around me.
Mm. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the the contribution. Uh, do you wanna tap in about the rodent coil?
Yeah, I
And
think it's about time.
yeah, I haven't just to give the audience a little summary is that brother right here is trying to like prompt me to get these rodent coils. I ended up buying all the material and I tried like 10 times. I got this mold. I kept trying and like something wasn't working. And then like I think on the sixth try I was like I was doing it wrong basically. And then it hasn't like fully clicked yet, but I have the material in the field. But yeah, if you wanna this will be the delivery where I'm finally ready to make rodent coils. But yeah, go ahead and like just share your understanding of them and your experience and what exactly rodent coils are.
Absolutely, brother. It's truly an honor to be able to share this technology. It's really fascinating stuff. I've never witnessed anything like it. It's really something beyond my wildest imagination. Terrence McKenna, I'm a big fan. I have all of his books, watched a lot of his lectures. I he speaks of the transcendental object at the end of time.
Mm,
The rodent coils are the transcendental object at the end of time, along with the harmonizer. I mean, humanity is the transcendental object. We transcend all of time and space. We're not even from here, but it's just tying all these things together. That's the message of what that I feel like he was trying to say. Is we're really reaching a novel point in time where there's so much novelty being experienced every single day.
facts.
It's really fascinating. But yeah, the rodent coil, man. So it's essentially a quantum wormhole into multiple dimensions. You
Mm,
can travel to any dimension you choose to through this device. As so, Nikola Tesla says that I don't know if Nikola Tesla actually says it, but frequency, energy, and vibration is the secrets to the universe. And what I find really interesting, so shout out No Choice Co.
show no choice.
Their Instagram, they got videos of them going up to 5G towers, opening up the 5G panels, and there's levers, one each for all the brainwave states. There's like theta, alpha, gamma, and beta. So, with the flick of a lever, these controllers at B are controlling the frequency at which all of humanity is operating at on a mental sphere. And so this is how we take our power back as light beings is we start channeling our own frequencies. We start uh, creating more scalar wave generators to completely just be the glitch in the matrix essentially. The rodent coils are super fascinating to me because um, at least from my apps that I use so far, I've been able to play anywhere from 0 to 21,000 hertz
Mm,
through the rodent coil. The tensor technology does actually hold more light in some regards, although because for example, the sacred qubit resonates at 144 megahertz. I'm pretty sure that's 100,000 hertz. 144,000 hertz.
correct, correct.
So I'm listening. I actually have a rodent coil playing right now. I've got 2,222 hertz and 9 hertz playing right now. Some angelic frequencies for balance, alignment, focus, resilience, and flexibility,
Mm,
which I'm vibing with right now. So, yeah, I had a really, really wild experience with the rodent coils last night, actually, that I'm happy to be here right now and be able to share it with everybody because it's a very profound realization that I had. And it's very important that everybody who's in the PEMF community knows this, that is aware of this information because you this technology is no joke. It's interdimensional time travel essentially, and if you're not careful, you can fall into some quantum wormholes into a dimension you don't want to be in, and that's essentially what happened to me last night. So I'm going to mention a woman's name. Her name is Sabrina Wallace. I highly recommend everybody check her out. She might seem a little woo woo and crazy, but I can guarantee that if you stick around for her message, she has some information that could potentially help you very much. And so, the main core, the stick of her teachings is that have you ever heard of the Gateway process or the Monroe Institute?
yes.
Okay, so I don't want to like put any words in anybody's mouth, but this is my interpretation of what Sabrina Wallace has said about this entire movement. And so essentially, we are bioactive computers. We have a biofield, and we are essentially hooked up to an Ethernet already. And our phones are black mirrors it's all just a reflection of you, but not everybody is really aware of how deep the reflection really is. Not everybody has that clarity to actually see. And yeah, so last night I was diving into some frequencies, and I use the PEMF healing app right now, which uh honestly I can't say that I fully am in congruence with this app, if I'm being completely honest. I can't say that I advocate for this company personally. So because they are ingrained with the gateway process. And essentially from my research and studies is like the some like CIA network tapping into your biofield and collecting your divine code for not so good reasons, I feel like.
Mm.
And so essentially, um, the PEMF healing app has all these gateway frequencies from the Monroe Institute in the app. And so last night I'm playing like some really angelic frequencies. I was feeling really light, really heavenly, really enjoying the bliss of this the rodent coil, what it has to offer. It's a really divine tool. And I can't remember which frequency, otherwise I would share it with you all. But um, I had the option on my computer going to where after this frequency quit playing, it would randomly choose the next frequency to start playing. And so after that divine frequency stopped playing, it started playing a gateway frequency just on autopilot essentially. And I was in like a really deep meditative trance at the time, honestly. And I wasn't aware of what frequency was being played through the rodent coil, but I was feeling essentially like I was in hell, like my DNA was being ripped to shreds, essentially. And I've actually heard about this. I forget who told me about this, but somebody who had talked to Marco Rodin, who is the inventor of this. Sorry, Marco Rodin, who is the inventor of this technology, the Rodin coil. He says that you have to be very, very careful with this technology because,
Mm.
especially on a medical level, it's more for subtle energetics. You're not using a rodent coil with a neodymium magnet as a massage gun on the body. You're using it to pull subtle energetics into the subtle body. And so, if you're playing like heavy metal music through a rodent coil, like high frequencies, you're probably gonna feel really, really bad. And essentially, I was playing whatever the PEMF healing app had on autopilot playing for me was absolutely terrible. Like I would not wish that upon my worst enemy. It was scary. And so yeah, now I got it set up to where I'm not gonna let anything on autopilot anymore. I'm very particular about exactly which frequency is playing at which time. So I know that I'm not just quantum leaping into hell on accident. Like this is a really divine tool. You can use it for a lot of great things, but it needs to be used accurately with precision and clarity. Otherwise, you're a lost time traveler and you don't want to be that person. So,
Mm.
so yeah, maybe there's probably a reason why you haven't gotten into this tech yet, and it's because there's still so much experimentation going on with it that a lot of the people, like a lot of the public, isn't ready to use it because it requires a certain level of clarity and magic that a lot of people just don't have yet or just aren't aware of realizing at this moment.
Facts. Facts. Um, do you have one on you to share with the do you have one close by?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
To show a display for people that don't know what we're talking about.
so right here we actually got the Hearth book. Shout out Divine Being, Being Divine, and then we got rodent coil. So this one, I still need to shrink to the circuitry, but we got a fully wrapped rodent coil. It's actually pulsing some frequencies through it right now. We got magnet in the center of it. There's magic mix core. So we got all the graphene, the ormus, and gold, the platinum, other superconductive elements, and plasma gas. And then we got a bunch of different crystals, quartz, and a bunch of good stuff in there.
That's a
So
special piece.
absolutely, bro. So yeah, and then you wrap it in copper wire. There's 12 strands of copper wire, and then it essentially meets like a scalar field. It
Mm.
wires back in on itself, like to create that Ouroboros. And it's really cool because with this amplifier, I have uh, four cables, four banana plugs, and as you can see here, they're mismatched. So I have two in the correct slots, uh, red, red, black, black. And I have two incorrect, black, red, and red, black. So what that does is called reverse polarity. So essentially, what's happening here is six of the wires are being, the frequency is being pulsed through in a centripetal uh, clockwise turn. And then the other one, the left channel, would be in a counterclockwise turn. And it creates that harmonious vortex. It's a very unifying device. Very beautiful stuff. Yeah, the reverse polarity is a very cool feature. I know a lot of people aren't aware of that, so that's some code for y'all if you
So
got.
how large does that field that you have there, brother? Like a rodent coil that size, which is maybe like palm sized. What kind of field like radius would that have? And because that's powerful, like, obviously I guess the bigger the rodent, the larger field, is that correct?
Yeah, so the bigger the rodent and the more, either the thicker the copper wire or the more strands of copper wire you have in here, because essentially uh, the copper wire is what's producing the electromagnetic field. So the more copper wire you have wound up, the stronger the magnetic field is going to be. But it's really a process making like a 48 strand rodent coil.
Hmm.
Even just the 12 strand, I mean, it's a lot of work. These are not easy to make at all.
Bro, the way honestly seeing that resin there, like what I was trying, like for the audience here, like he's correct. That mold, it's not easy to like get a good mold because we make the mold out of organite. So you can obviously buy preset molds. You can just like wrap your wire, but the power of the finished creation gets amplified a lot by the organite. So it's not easy. I've been making tech for 3 years and the rodent coil had me at a standstill. So yeah, but I'm excited when that time comes.
Yeah, well, it's right around the corner. I mean, it's here any day now. You just gotta keep on experimenting, and then just let me know. We'll get to it. I can, I got some rodent coils I need to wrap up. So, like I said, just let me know, and we'll get to it. Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Do you want to tap in? We got 14 minutes left. Do you
Okay.
want to tap in about urine therapy? I
Absolutely.
for the audience too, I as well drink my urine. So let's share what we know. I mean, I first learned from brother Abu,
Okay.
who's in Costa Rica, and when I went and lived with him, the whole house was drinking their urine, and so I started. And yeah, I don't practice it daily, but there is days when I intuitively will wake up and like I'll just have that thought, like drink this load, like um so where are you at with UT?
Yeah, bro, I'm a full-time practitioner, so
Amazing.
I actually have a degree from Brother Sage. Yeah, I took his whole class on urine therapy and went through,
Wow.
yeah, hours and hours of reading lessons with him. So yeah, I know about all the protocols. Like I age Orin. I have some the the oldest age Orin I have is from when I was 17 years old. So it's like almost 6 years old now.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. So I first heard about it when I was about 17. Uh, through one of my friends at the time. I thought he was kind of crazy. He was like because he didn't explain to me anything about urine therapy. He's just like, just go drink your piss, bro. And I'm like, why? Why
Yeah.
would I do that?
Mm.
Well, at least give me some context. So I had no idea. And then Nick Caputo, when I was like 17, I seen Nick Caputo on Instagram talking about urine therapy and how beneficial it was. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. And I went to my shower, grabbed a jar, and I just tried like a little bit just to see how my body would react. And yeah, my body loved it. It was just like tapping into my super divine intelligence that's been within me. And it's just like, how could I ever forget that? I was in my mother's womb for 9 months, breathing in urine essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I want to really, you said we got like 10 minutes left, so I'll tap in and tie everything up by talking about the dark. So, dark technology, dark room enlightenment. It's a very profound practice. Montauk Chia, he speaks about this uh, in the mainstream nowadays. He's like the mainstream influencer of darkness technology. Although my teacher, uh, I don't know anybody else who has stayed in the dark longer than who taught me about the dark. And so I meditated in the dark for 10 days straight,
Mm.
10 consecutive days, just in a pitch black room, uh, walls or windows, everything blacked out, no light whatsoever. I was taken care of, like I was fruit juice fasting for the first 7 days, also on urine too, but fruit juice for the first 7 days. So the fruit juice was just delivered to my room and I was taken care of essentially. I knew where the bathroom was, and it was just a time for me to dive into some introspection. I was 19 at the time, so this was in 2021, and yeah, so I was talking about the womb, how when we're in our mother's womb, we are in amniotic fluid, which is this like DMT uh, light vehicle essentially. And when I went into the dark at 19 years old, fasting on my urine and fruit juice, the urine of Mother Earth, essentially structured H3O2 water from Mother Earth. Um, that was a really divine rebirth for me, is tapping back into this space. It was like going back into the womb. You would expect isolation like that to be like really scary or just not fun, but for me, it was like the most blissful and peaceful. I can't imagine any more peaceful, honestly.
Mm.
Just being so still and calm and grounded, just knowing that everything's already taken care of, and I'm just living out my purpose, and I just get to like sit in this initiation. It was quite a divine experience, and yeah. So one thing, another thing I like to speak on before we tie this up is entheogens and endogenous psychedelics. So an entheogen would be like a psychoactive plant like psilocybin mushrooms or LSD, DMT. And then we got an endogenous psychedelic, which is produced in the human body already
Mm.
upon the correct circumstances. So, for example, tryptophan is a precursor to DMT, and so is melatonin. So, if you're eating lots of dates and like potassium-rich foods, you'll probably have a lot of tryptophan, be rich in tryptophan, which converts into melatonin. And in the dream realm, that's just it's great. But when you're in the dark, the first 3 days, your brain's producing tons of melatonin because it thinks it's just sleeping. And then once it realizes that you're not seeing any light and the melatonin isn't doing anything, it starts producing or converting that into tryptophan, and then converting that into serotonin and DMT. And so essentially, you know, going into the dark, fasting on your own, or not even fasting, you're replenishing and revitalizing your life, your body with your own life force, the water from yourself, the Eucharist essentially, and that is the most divine rebirth I think any being can go through. I feel like everybody should have the honor to experience the dark, because it's different than psychedelics. Because I've done psychedelics, I've taken big doses, and the dark is way different than any psychedelic I've ever tried. It's more profound, more grounding, more clear, and it's just it's not a shortcut. It's it's the steadfast path. I encourage more beings to look into this, and yeah, I hope that these codes uh, really soak into a lot of people. And I trust that these messages that Muniz and I have shared today will be absorbed by the collective for lots of time to come. And we'll be sharing lots more in the near future to come. Yeah, brother. Do you have any other questions for me while I'm here?
I think we'll end it here, but we'll tap in on a private call and we'll get these donuts twisted. Um, yeah, super love and appreciation to you, bro. Yeah, I I'm happy with what we brought up. Um, but we'll keep our relationship in divine flow and formation. And yeah, I got some errands to run. I got some orders to do. I'm currently making 60 of these plates to go to infiltrate the World Economic Forum next month. So the
What
great
do you mean?
uh I have a sister that's going to speak about regenerative living at the World Economic Forum, and she's going to deliver and hand out organite.
Wow.
We're infiltrating the essence of the Matrix, the real the real great reset. And that's like what brother is talking about here. Like we are literally a glitch in the Matrix. Like this is cosmic comedy that Organite and Tensor Tech is now being handed out at the World Economic Forum. Uh, so yeah, I'm working on that order. But yeah, all is well. All is all is as it is. And whoever tuned into this, feel free to reach out to us. Um, do you want to share your IG?
Yeah, my Instagram is Techgnosis369. So TECHGNOSIS 369. So Techgnosis, like technologies, but gnosis.
Gnosis. And yeah, if you yeah, if you're good with that as your contact, like I give out my cell phone number, but it's not necessary. People can reach you if they need, and I'll tag you in the description here.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll give my email. Just we'll put it out in the
okay.
description. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, on that note, leaving us all in the love and in the light of the one infinite eternal creator, I will take us out with a benediction. Thou mighty infinite presence of God, we give praise and thanks for the ceaseless ministry. We call the blessing, the wisdom, the intelligence to act through each one of us, giving peace to our minds, peace to our body, and joy to our hearts, to go forth the ruling, conquering, victorious presence over all things. We give praise and thanks that the mighty presence I am, God in action, governs all official places, causing the perfection to be ever operative and self-sustained in the name and through thy presence. We are the resurrection and the life, and new earth is now.